A Serious Man is a movie with a lot of questions.
Danbot.
What does it all mean?
Who cares?
It's also frustratingly elusive in answering any of those questions. In fact, you're bound to ask if the main character doesn't beat you to it.
What's going on? Can you tell me what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We can't ever really know what's going on.
This is not an easy question to answer, and the Coens make this abundantly clear with their coy approach to storytelling. While most movies present their morals, virtues, and motives through a predictably evolving storyline, offering a complete picture from the pieces gathered along the way, A Serious Man is discreetly revealed before the movie even starts, spending the remainder of its runtime teasing us with a plot that lacks the classic elements of one. The textbook linear narrative with a tidy beginning, middle, and end is instead a spaghetti of excerpts that relinquish any sense of progress altogether. The compelling protagonist consistently falls short of his heroic obligations, enemies don't settle their differences and unite as friends, and the relentless myriad of obstacles never gives way to a foreseeable resolution, which altogether make arousing an understanding of A Serious Man rather tedious and difficult. But there is a redeemable elegance in the way the Coens leave us to gnaw our way through towards an understanding of the film in our own way, though that enduring quest to understand it is coincidentally ironic. Something Larry hunts throughout the whole movie is, too, something we have trouble finding in it. Answers.
I want it to just go away. I want an answer.
Sure, we all want the answer.
We want the relief, the verification that answers provide. Because genuinely, is there ever a completely right answer? Answers can mask the truth. Answers are the lies we tell ourselves to be able to form opinions and justify actions. Answers alleviate the uncertainty that questions pose. Questions challenge reality and exhume understanding. And this is where the movie delivers. It makes us feel those questions, but denies us any answers. What makes them so difficult to pinpoint is the movie's extensive use of saying something without actually saying it. It's safe to say that you can't really understand the film without understanding its metaphors. The metaphors tell how it really works. That's the real thing. The plot is just illustrative, a fable, to help give you a picture, to make it convincing.
Well, yes, it's convincing. It's a proof. It's mathematics.
The Coens achieve an unparalleled complexity of storytelling with A Serious Man. Their ability to pair disparity with relieving humor, explaining things artistically, using quintessentially inartistic concepts, all the while keeping within the boundaries of a genuine and realistic story, to illustrate that being a serious man has nothing to do with being serious at all, but rather receiving with simplicity everything that happens to you. In the cryptic parable that sets the tone of the movie, the married Velvel and Dora stand at odds after she accuses Tritle of having been taken by the Evil One. Ultimately, Tritle's nebulous departure leaves us wondering whether Dora murdered an innocent man, or in fact chased away an evil spirit. Of course, this mystery isn't one A Serious Man attempts to solve, and that tempo is repeatedly alluded to in the film's open-ended gestation, daring us to question its very significance.
Is it relevant?
Well, isn't that why you're telling me?
If found, did the Dybbuk simply vacate its vessel and leave behind a corpse? If not, did Tritle somehow survive, never to return? The parable harbors the notion that extracting any genuine truth is futile. No matter what we argue, we can only accept a state of probabilities. But Tritle's ambiguous attempts to brush off Dora's accusations, while never really revealing his quasi-human identity, parallel this absurdity of tolerating uncertainty in the real world. Dora fabricates rejections for every discrepancy in Tritle's gesture, and with it, expels any uncertainties still resonating in her acclimate husband's half-hearted acknowledgments of Tritle's defenses. And so it takes a degree of exoconsciousness to appreciate an ambivalent solution to a question, one that is satisfied with and accounts for the coexistence of simultaneous possibilities.
Following this? Okay?
Schrödinger's paradox shows how certain environments can only be interpreted as a state of simultaneous possibilities until reduced to a single observable truth. It's an entertaining teaser that Larry uses in his lectures to bring life to what really matters in physics: math. While Larry praises math's elegant solution to uncertainty, he struggles to translate that concept beyond the blackboard, because naturally, in the real world, even Larry can't fathom the idea of having something both ways.
It doesn't make sense. Either he left the money or he didn't.
Please, accept the mystery.
In its most basic form, math is just another way to express ideas, a language. And whether it's numbers, letters, sounds, or drawings, language isn't necessarily ubiquitous. We each have our own way of making sense of the world, and language implores us to figure that out. It's safe to say, however, that Larry hasn't figured it out.
Even I don't understand the dead cat.
Marital problems, invasive neighbors, troubling bribes, expensive record subscriptions, quarreling siblings, and anonymous assertions quickly upset the harmonic balance of Larry's plastic life. While Larry's uncertainties linger in the air, they are imminently forced to being acted upon.
Did you talk to Sai?
Have you talked to Rabbi Nachman?
You should try to talk to Marshak.
And action is progress.
See Marshak.
Yet, in a world where actions have
In
consequences,
this office, actions have consequences.
Larry suffers indecorously for someone who didn't do anything.
Well, what have I done? I haven't done anything.
Larry.
I didn't do anything. I haven't done anything.
Proving that even inaction can bear consequence. Larry is not an evil man, though is involved in something rather diabolical. He tries to live a righteous life and be a serious man, believing that if he does everything by the book, everything will be
Try to
okay.
do right, be a member of the community. Danny, Sarah, they both go to school, Hebrew school, a good breakfast.
But his quest for justice, honesty, and righteousness only leaves him defending the indisputable, interfering with the minuscule, and worrying about the irrelevant. With his docile repertoire, Larry struggles to influence the trajectory of his own life, let alone the fate of others, while those around him violate moral code unchecked, getting what they want by being comically illogical, pompous, stubborn, inconsiderate, and intimidating. Larry idles by trying to figure out the answers. Yet he doesn't do anything, because with his forgiving demeanor, willing to suffer for the sake of others, he struggles to prove what the right thing really is.
It's not, dishonest?
Oh, absolutely.
Larry's moral struggles land him directly in God's shoes, and lend way to delirious confusion. And so he reluctantly seeks answers in all the wrong places.
A what?
A what?
And any attempts to find them are inexplicably halted by act of God. While Larry's journey to a solution yields new and unconventional perspectives, his caprice readily deflates any progress.
Tired old way of looking at things.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Larry does try, but the stories and fables he has told, while emblematic of workable advice, still lack a certain clever and convincing elegance, and Larry is not the only one to see right through their vague and idiomatic nonsense.
What did he tell you about the goy's teeth?
Larry's tsuris is not one of perspective, fixation on elusive answers from God, nor law. It's in relying on the support from everyone he expects it from,
She's fine. No, me.
while rejecting it from those most willing to offer it.
How are you?
And while he exhausts to conclude how things are, he slowly realizes the need to appreciate the implications that uncertainties impose. Larry's journey surmounts on the prophetic advice of the elusive Rabbi Marshak, whose comically anticlimactic glare tells Larry exactly what he already knew to be.
Sometimes you have to help yourself.
God speaks to us in mysterious yet simple ways. And after many iterations, Larry adopts his hardships as just a testament from God. But gambling in probabilities is a risky business, plagued with consequences. And while the general consensus allows many to slip effortlessly through the conventional well of tradition, God's unique plan for Larry would have stitched together regardless, because it was not his to choose in the first place. So it wasn't until he finally decided to see things one way that God came calling with the results. And when the truth is found to be lies, and all the joy within you dies, then what?